Hey there and welcome to Matt's Garage. Well, today me and Nash are just tackling a few little jobs on the Blazer here. We're going to get the bumper back on, and we're actually taking the lift kit out and everything. And sadly we've decided to move on from the Blazer, though we're not going to turn it into a major project on the channel like I thought. I found another truck that I'm actually trading the Blazer straight across for, and I'm a lot more excited about that as a project. So the Blazer's going to be leaving the channel, but we're going to do this day of work here on it, and we'll show you what we do so you at least have a little bit of Blazer content. And Nash is having some fun laying under there figuring out how we're going to de-lift it. We just got to cut these spring shackles down there basically. We already took the lift blocks out of the front, so we're just going to drill a hole higher up so that we can move the spring up, and then I'll be cutting the excess off. You can see on the front there, that was the first thing I did, was get those lift blocks out. And then there's some big lift blocks under the back that we're going to get out too, and then it should drive properly, because right now it's spring wrapping really bad. And all the drive shaft angles are really bad, and they're kind of binding up. So I want it to at least drive around the yard properly when the guy shows up for it. And then there's just a few silly things, like there's a couple lug nuts missing on every wheel, but the funny part is they're all in the center console. But there is this one locking one over here that I'm going to attempt to get off here, so I'll do that on camera and show you a method for getting them off. So what I did is I went and found a good impact socket that just about fits over it, but it doesn't quite, and then I'm just going to force it on with a hammer. Nash is just finishing tightening up the bumper there, and he got all the holes under here marked. I just did a pilot hole in the first one there. Well, it's the second day of our little Blazer rehab here, and we got the front back down to stock height yesterday, so all the drive shaft angles and everything are correct now. Nash got the bumper bolted up there, and we're just working on the rear lift right now. Nash is actually working on getting the overlinked U-bolts off, and being that the guy I'm actually going to be trading this truck off to, he is going to be using it as a snow plowing truck, completely off-road. So what I'm going to do, being that the threads on these U-bolts doesn't actually run down long enough, I'm going to take them off here, take some measurements, and I'm going to cut and weld them the length I need and put it back together. Because basically he just wants it kind of turnkey, ready to go for plowing. And I'm really into the truck we're trading up for here, the project we're trading into, so I want to make sure that the deal goes through. So me and Nash are just getting these off. I got them to oil up the threads so they don't bind up, but you can see there's too much thread sticking out on that to get at it with this socket, but I can get these front ones at least. I already did. There we go, just like magic. So now you just got to get the other four backed off for me, bud.
Okay.
At least somebody used new hardware, so it's not all rusted up too bad. Nash doesn't even know he's being recorded right now.
What?
Oh, he heard that. I don't think I ever even showed the inside of this truck on the camera before. That's because I have the dash for it and everything, but it's not installed. Even this, I gotta screw this in, and I gotta clean all this dust off of here. Somebody took it apart years ago, and I think they took it apart to change the cluster, because there's another one back here. That's the original one, and you can see there's broken needles on it. So I think that was the goal of taking it apart, but they never quite finished. So all the screws and everything are in the center console here. So I'm gonna get to work and get that all back together, and then probably vacuum it out and just clean it up a little bit in here. It's actually not too bad in here. And there's a nice little ventilation hole here. I think this is a standard equipment on the older Chevy square bodies here. How's it going there, young Nash? See, we've got it supported under the front of the leaf spring mounts there, and then we also put up some blocking under the trailer hitch here, and that way the body is supported there. So when he gets that all unbolted, we can pull those lift blocks out, and we already have a jack under there so that we can jack it back up to meet the springs and put the shortened U-bolts in. And this person had spacers here because they had the wrong U-bolts. Okay, there's the spring plate, and we'll get underneath now and pull that actual lift block out, and then we gotta get over to the other side and do the same thing. Long, and he bought them brand new. Why didn't he just buy the proper length? Okay guys, there's just a centering pin on the spring, so I'm just gonna see if I can pry the spring up, because there shouldn't be a lot of pressure, and get it off of that. But and now you guys can see why this isn't really too safe. We've got some really questionable welds there, and yeah, just don't. Another professionally welded. Okay guys, we're just going to jack up the axle now, and it's real easy. It's going to go right up into those centering bolts on the spring there. Okay guys, well I had a problem where things weren't lining up here, and essentially the springs had to suck together, so I went and got one of those deals like truckers use. What do they call that? A chain dog, I think. Anyways, a loop of chain and that, and problem is solved. So yeah, we'll get this all fastened back down now. Okay guys, check these out, the shortened U-bolts. You can see I've got these all cut and prepped. Beveled the ends all nicely on both sides, so I can get a nice weld. So these two didn't have any galvanizing on them, but the other two do, so I'm going to have to put my mask on. These ones are a little too wide, so I just did that. I stepped them a little. Okay guys, day 3 of our little rehab here. We were only going to spend a day on it, but whatever. It's looking good. We got the lift out of the back last night, as you can see. So it's sitting all level right now. It's kind of sitting on uneven ground, but it should be all at factory height now. And Nash is just working on polishing up these old aluminum wheels. I find this mother's polish works really good. So just going at it by hand here, a power ball or something would work good, but I figured didn't want to burn one of those up on it. We're just trying to spruce it up a little bit there, and then I'm just going to be changing out this. I noticed this headlight had a rock hole in it. I had one used one in the back of the shop, but looks like a good one, so we'll stick that in there. And yeah, I'm still working on inside here. I got it all wiped up yesterday and everything, and some junk cleaned out of it. So I'm going to get the dash pad on today, and cap off a bunch of bare wires where the radio was. There is no radio. There you can see the customized U-bolts installed there. It might be a little high in the front still, because I just lowered it on those custom hangers that somebody made there, so they might actually be a touch up still, but that's okay because the guy I'm trading with is actually going to put a plow blade on the front, so that'll sag it a little, and it will be perfect to have it a touch high on the front for that reason. So yeah, I'll just swap out this headlight, and somebody installed those upside down. Silly people. Whoever put the lift kit in must have done that. Well, at least they were consistent. I already got the light all swapped out here. I just wanted to show really quick for the viewers who are a bit younger and haven't dealt with these kind of lights before. They're all pretty standard and basic. Normally you have a bezel that goes around them like that, and you take that out and that gives you access to the frame. There's just four, they're always Phillips, just self-tapping screws to hold them in. And then if you're going to adjust them, there's their up and down adjuster and your side to side adjuster, and then there's a spring that counters that right there. You can see it better on that one right there. So that's even the old cars with the round headlights that are sealed beamed, they're just the same as this. Well, we're 4 days into our 1-day Blazer rehab now, and Nash is doing a little fiberglass work here. We're just I just noticed these areas where somebody had filled before and they're kind of weathered out, so we're just gonna kind of pick out the stuff they put in there, kind of feather it back, and this is all kind of just weathered, so we're all just gonna rough it all up, and then we'll put some filler over it, and then we'll get some black paint. I think this is bed liner on here, and just use some semi-gloss black, should match it pretty good, and we're gonna do this whole side area here. So Nash is just helping me out getting that all prepped up, and then I'll mix up a little bit of filler and put in there. I should be like fiberglassing it and getting some cloth going and stuff, but we're not gonna get that fussy on it. We just you know, kind of keep it from getting any worse and stabilize it a bit with some body filler there for now. And you can see how nicely those wheels turned out. After I was done with the interior, I hit the interior with some detailers, some Meguiar's there. I just took my rag with what was left on it and wiped all the tires down, and Nash did all those rims. We just did the ring part out here. We didn't bother with in here, but now somebody could paint in here. I think would look kind of cool, or they could spend the time and polish it. You can tell this is the one he started on, and it's the shiniest one, and then and he moved to this one next. It's a little less shiny. And then if we go around here, this is the third one he did. Slightly less shiny again. And then this was the last one he did, and in his defense, he was going with a flashlight by this point, so it's the least shiny. But that's okay, because we now have a good side that we can take a nice picture on over here with the pretty shiny rims. And yeah, it's not like a show truck. Oh, and the inside turned out pretty good. I'm actually going to vacuum it yet. I wasn't going to, and then I saw how nice it looks today, and yeah, run over it with a vacuum. This is one of those clip-on covers. Well, actually it's supposed to glue down. I just clipped it on. It's actually glued to another dashboard, and so yeah, it's not perfect, but if you glued it on really nice, it actually wouldn't be too bad. So yeah, and then everything else just got to wipe down, and got the gauge bezel in there and everything. That's one of my favorite things with the square body Chevs. Actually, I really like the way the gauges look and everything. So it's a nice view. Okay guys, Nash here got everything sanded off. Don't have compressed air, so we'll just wipe it like that. And then I got a little filler mixed up here just on some cereal box. Normally I do it a little fancier, but quick and dirty today. Nash just finished vacuuming inside, and boy does it look a lot better than it did in here. And then I just finished sanding out the filler we put on here, so I'm just going to tape off the window now and just paint this whole side of the top I filled a few little nicks down here too, and should look a lot better. And there we go, just some really quick masking, and I'll get that spray paint up. Okay guys, we're finished our, ended up being a 4-day rehab on this Blazer here, so it's all ready to trade off. I just got to move it up to the shop. I got a few of the tires that leaked down a bit from sitting, and then on Sunday it gets picked up, hopefully. So we'll do a cold start for you here. All that 305 power. Okay guys, so it's actually a good week since the last little clip I did here, and we're still doing the trade. Actually, the guy's on the way right now with the truck we're trading for. And unfortunately, we had a lot of issues with the Blazer here. We thought we were all done after we pulled the lift kit out and stuff. And then I discovered a seized up U-joint on the front drive shaft. Got that taken care of. And like when I got this thing, it was kind of binding up in four-wheel drive because of the lift kit, or at least I thought that's why. And so we got the lift kit out. It was still binding up. Found that bad U-joint, changed that, and it was still binding up. And what it turned out is somebody had swapped out one of the axles previous, and they didn't match up the gear ratio. It had a different higher geared rear end in it, and so it was essentially fighting each other when you put it in four-wheel drive. So I got real lucky and found a set of axles, an 86 Chevy 4x4 pickup, like a K10 pickup or whatever there, and me and Nash swapped out both axles. We did a full axle swap on this, and we just didn't have time to run the camera. There was a few hiccups with that too, because the new one, the reason why they were so cheap is the front one, the shock mounts had been cut off it with a torch, so I had to do a bunch of repairs to it and then transfer the mounts over from the old axle, and a few little goodies like that. But we got it all done. It runs really smooth in four-wheel drive now, so I imagine the guy will be pretty happy with it, and he should be here within about 20 minutes to load it on a trailer and haul it away. And we'll do a video real quick on what we end up trading it for, so pretty excited about it. It's kind of my dream truck. Stay tuned, and thanks a lot for watching Matt's Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.